Woke up quite early today to face the fires of Mordor, or the scorching heat in central Germany, because I really want to show you one more interesting piece of Carolingian heritage, so I really hope you can join me on this short trip. I'm so happy because the train didn't get cancelled. It didn't. It's arriving now. So this is one more example of Carolingian architecture, again linked to Einhard or Eginhardus, the biographer of Charlemagne. He received this territory called a mark because it was sort of like a borderland from Louis the Pious, and he also received Seligenstadt in the same document. We are in a place called Michelstadt, and here Einhard had the initiative of erecting a stone basilica with 3 naves in about 820, 821. As you can imagine, this has been rebuilt a couple of times, but let's say that the core remains, the substance of the building. Einhard was basically inspired by what he had seen in Rome. The basilica in the Roman Empire would have been a high status building where you would have held court. And then in Christian times, it became sort of like a long stretched church where the side naves are a bit smaller than the central one. He would have liked to use it as a grave, but in order to do so, you would have needed some relics. And he did get these relics on a trip to a Roman catacomb, the relics of Marcellinus and Petrus, but then he decided to display them in Seligenstadt. Now, according to tradition, it was because these 2 saints would have appeared to him in a dream, but it was very convenient because, he actually wanted to show off a little more, and Seligenstadt was a more appropriate place to do so. The spot is older, though. It is mentioned in a source called the Vita of Bishop Burchard of Würzburg in about 740, 741, and apparently it was a donation made by the uncle of Charlemagne, by Caloban. I think I could spend the rest of the day here. It's like 1,000,000 degrees outside and it's just 10 a.m. But I'm really happy that I didn't give up and came here again. So this region is called the Odenwald. It is a series of small mountains in Hessen and Bavaria, and it is attested from Roman times. There was a series of forts here, erected in the time of Emperor Trajan, and with the passage of time it also shifted towards the east, but then the hegemony of the Roman Empire fell in the 3rd century under the pressure of the Alemanni, who settled here, but then they were followed by the Franks, and then Clovis or Chlodwig I tried to reorganize the region. In the 7th and 8th century, we have evidence for more occupation and also for Christianization due to the Irish-Scottish monks. There were a series of Benedictine monasteries that were tasked with organizing Christianity here. The monastery of Lorsch, also have a vlog about that, Fulda, Mosbach and Amorbach. So there you have it, the Carolingian style. It's strong, it's simple, and it looks very organized. It has these orderly proportions. It's not comparable with the Gothic style, for example, which was much more flamboyant. They have a preference for round arches, for buildings of stone, of course, and there is nevertheless this sense of monumentality I really like. Looks balanced and disciplined. There is a sense of solid appearance. The interior also feels spacious, you know. It's not cluttered. It's simple, rectangular, and close to the original. And it does have a feeling of symmetry to it, which is really nice. So after the death of Einhard, this became the possession of the monastery of Losch, one of the richest in all of the Carolingian Empire. And then during Reformation, it passed on to the Counts of Erbach. And they used it as a shed for hunting equipment and also a timber deposit, which might sound like a desecration, but it is actually one of the main reasons why it is so well preserved. Fun fact, the name of the region, Odenwald, might stem from an old High German word, Odan, which means to infief. So likely these were hunting grounds or something of the sort that were infiefed to one of the bishops in the area. This was the Basilica of Einhard, and now I want to show you the town hall and the castle, or at least what's left of it, because they're also quite fascinating. It feels like pulling off all of your skin. It's really unbearable. I don't even know how hot it is. Lost count. It's a very charming town, but nobody is crazy enough to be on the street at this time of the day. The town hall was built in 1484. It has a striking facade with chamfered gable and these little turrets and also a clock. It also rests on heavy oak posts. The lower story forms a high open hall. The ground floor would have been used for court sittings and markets, and also the old city scales, cloth press even. And the upper story had multiple functions across the ages, from council to hospital to register office. You know, it could have been much worse, but the air is kind of dry. There's also a little bit of wind, which makes it all a little more bearable. Do not underestimate the power of doors to lead you to beautiful and unexpected places. reason the core no longer exists is due to a conflict between the electoral palatinate and the electorate of Mainz. So there's the Holy Roman Empire for you. The nobility from Erbach built it until 1344, and they also constructed a ring wall, so they wanted to develop it into a little more than a citadel, kind of like a town fortress. So until the 16th century, all kinds of administrative buildings and living quarters were erected here, and today you can still see the palace, the central hall as it were, which was built in 1506. You can also see the Thieves' Tower, the Diebsturm, which was the prison, and also all kinds of storage buildings. And this place is actually called the Kellerei. Keller means a cellar, but Kellerei would mean sort of like a residential area. Some kids just asked me if I was streaming. I should have said yes, just to see their reaction, which would have probably been coming up to me and shouting something like 6-7. Yeah, so I think that marks the end of the journey for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider subscribing or a paid membership. I'm going to head down to the train station with the insane hope that this time it won't be 80 minutes late.